Hello and welcome to a kind of special episode of the Fully Charged Show. Now, we've been brought to Oslo by Tesla to have a look at this brand new Tesla Model 3, but it doesn't look that new to me. I drive one of these every day. It's white, it looks kind of like that. But then when you look a little bit more closely, there are a lot of subtle changes, and they've done a hell of a lot to this car. They have sold so far over 2 million Tesla Model 3s, just the Model 3. Forget the Model Y, Model S, Model X. Just that, 2 million of them. So it's a really popular car around the world. I love my Tesla Model 3, no question about it, but this is sounding rather tasty. So that is the Tesla Model 3. This is a very quiet room in a special secret location in Oslo, and this is the Fully Charged Show.
The Fully Charged Show is generating positive energy with its live events all around the world. Next up, it's Fully Charged Live Canada. Click the top right of the screen to get your tickets today.
So immediately, at first glance, there's not a huge difference with this car, but the design of the front is definitely upgraded and changed, and it's more aerodynamic. It's got slightly different intakes down there. The lights definitely are different, and Tesla lights are already brilliant. They are absolutely amazing, but now everything's been condensed into this very narrow strip of LED lights. There's the fog lamps, the indicators, the headlamps, all that stuff's all in that little bar. That is your daytime driving lights. That's on all the time when you're driving. It looks a bit tighter and a little bit less gappy, but it's difficult to say. This is, one of the first of the new models. One of the things that they're really proud of is that this is now the lowest drag coefficient of any Tesla ever made. It's 0.219 coefficient of drag, which makes it more efficient. So what they've managed to do is, without changing the battery or the drivetrain or the software that controls all that, they've added about 5 to 8% more range, simply because the car slips through the air with less friction with the air. And that is down to the front here, and also a couple of other clever little things. Now, I don't know what this is going to be like, but there's a very, very subtle little lip there, a flange I can see is slightly different from the model I drive, and that blows the wind, sort of aims the wind over the windscreen. So that reduces noise in the cabin and increases fuel efficiency, if you like. So there are variations on wheels you can get on the new cars. These are the 18-inch wheels, and they basically look pretty similar to the ones I've got now. There's a subtle change in the design of the wheel. It's slightly darker. I don't know if I like it more or less. I think I like it about the same. But there are other wheel designs you can get that are supposed to be more aerodynamic and add somewhere around 5% to the range of the vehicle. One of the other things that they have definitely improved, and this already has a very, very high safety rating, but is the side impact protection in the doors. And apparently the doors are now heavily reinforced much more to meet the latest very, very stringent regulations about side impact. And I've been told you can hear the difference in the door closing sound. I'm going to test that now. That is quite chunky. Let me try the back. So this is technical stuff we're doing here. Slightly higher pitch, but still chunky. You've got much greater protection in the unfortunate event of a side impact, which I have experienced, and it is unfortunate. All the glass. Now, in the original Tesla Model 3, the windscreen glass and the driver and passenger side doors were acoustic glass. I think that's heftier glass. Now, and not in the back or over this bit. Now, the whole car only has acoustic glass. Again, it's subtle changes to the back. I mean, there are some. I can see the light design is different, and also you've now got the Tesla, the word Tesla. Model 3 I have just has the little T logo there, but this now has the word Tesla across the back. I don't think that improves the efficiency or makes the car go better, but I quite like that. So by chance, 2 days ago, I did a 100-mile drive in the Tesla Model 3, sitting in this seat in the back. My wife was driving, there was other people in the car, so I've had a very recent reminder of what our Model 3 rear seats are like, and I'm going to say right here and now, this is an improvement. This is much more comfortable. I feel I've got more room, but one of the really big improvements is this. Now, this is a screen in the back. You can watch movies on it, you can do all sorts of things, but you can actually control the air conditioning, and I'm just blowing some air, and I'm feeling it now. That is really nice, because you did get the benefit of the air conditioning of the whole car sitting in the back previously, but this is really big step forward. And plus, you can either replicate the screen that's up there, the driver's screen, or you can have your own little movie. So you can sit here and watch your own movie, and that's got Bluetooth. You can put your speakers in. No one else can hear it. You can watch a movie while you're on a long drive. I suspect some children will appreciate that. So the Model 3 was launched 6 years ago. They have sold 2 million, over 2 million Model 3s so far, which is extraordinary for what is, I think it is worth just reflecting on the impact this company has had on the automotive world. No new car company has started since the World War II, since the 1940s, and been a success. Loads of people have tried. There's lots of new startups now that are just beginning to emerge and just starting. But really, you've got to hand it to Tesla. They were the first really big success. Now, they're indicating, I'm going to say, indicating is it's going to be there's a little learning curve to do that, because I'm still looking at the steering wheel to make sure I'm pressing the right button. That isn't automatic. Where's the lever? I know they want to strip it down and it's all going to be lean. I'm slightly questioning the buttons. I'm sure I'll get used to it, but it's slightly worrying. But other than that, I mean, you know, you can tell this car is just top of the class with electric vehicles. It's so good. It's so well, this is really well made. The software is just so instantly, intuitively easy to use. That's all good. Here's the thing. How do I use the screen wipers? I press the button. Oh, okay. And they come on. Okay. Now, one of the few of the other upgrades, they've got the sound system in this. This is the dual motor long range vehicle, and this has all the gizmos. So the one I have is the Model 3 long range, and it has 14 speakers, and the sound system is amazing. In this, it has 17 speakers, and the sound system is even more amazing. But I think, and that was fine, you know, you go, yeah, fair enough, that's cool, that's nothing spectacular. But I think what is interesting is they've really upgraded the microphone. So there are 2 microphones that can hear my voice now. One for talking to the vehicle, but also for phone calls. So if you make a phone call, it's not you're not affected by it, but the person listening to you gets a really crisp, clear voice, your voice very clearly, because apparently occasionally it would break up. I've got to say, I never experienced that. No one ever complained to me saying, when I called you in the car, I couldn't hear your voice. You know, there was never any indication of that, but clearly that is better. And I think the overall sound in the vehicle is reduced, but I'm going to say now, it's subtle. This is definitely not louder than my Model 3, but it's not massively quieter. So the display, it looks to me very, very similar, but there are super subtle differences. It is a higher pixel count. I think it's very crisp. It's super easy to see. I'm not, you know, but I'm quite happy with the screen I have. It has a thinner bezel around it, so there's more screen space. But all these changes are pretty subtle. These are all things that people have asked for, that the Tesla owners have said, can you do this, can you do that? So that is all, you know, there's nothing new so far that I've seen in this car that is worse than it is in the existing one. It's definitely a step up, it's definitely better. But if you can hear a bit of road noise now, we're actually driving over a road that's being resurfaced, so it's very rough. So even with that sound, even with a very rough road that we're driving over, it's still pretty quiet. So what is very obvious is the kind of basic drive feel of the car is very similar. The acceleration, the one pedal driving, the regen, all those things I'm sure they've been tweaked and tuned, and it certainly feels really, really good, and it clearly goes like a rocket if you wanted to. But also you can drive it very calmly and sensibly, like I'm trying to do now. So the air conditioning has also been improved. It's similar looking controls to on my Model 3, where you can blow the air in different directions, but you can also control it in the back, and it has its own control in the back, which is really good. That's a big step up. But again, you know, it is an improvement, but it's not like game changing. It's good. It's better than it was, but it's not. I mean, it was already pretty good. This is the thing. They're improving a car that was already pretty stunning. The seats have been improved. They've got vegan leather, which they always did have, but they're now it can be a completely automated system of heating and cooling. And I would say this is, and it judges from your body's temperature. So it registers what temperature your body is, and if you're too hot, it cools you down, and if you're too cold, it warms you up, which is kind of cool. That is new, and that is very impressive. And I can't tell what it's doing at the moment, except I am supremely comfortable. So it's working. So one of the things they made a big deal about, and I can't test that now, is that the phone connectivity, which is brilliant in this car, the phone connectivity is now not just using Bluetooth, which is what it does in the existing model, but it uses ultra wideband, which means it is a much more range, much more sensitivity. If you've got your phone with you anywhere, in a bag, in your pocket, on your backpack, it will still work and you'll still have access to the car, which they say sometimes is a difficult thing with Bluetooth. I've got to say, I've never had a problem with using phone access to drive this vehicle. It's always been completely faultless. So as for range, it's essentially the same as the existing ones, except they're saying it's between a 5 and 8% increase in range. No increase in battery capacity, no changes in battery chemistry. And there are two types of Model 3 you can get, which is the rear wheel drive and the long range. And this is a long range one, so that's all wheel drive. And this is around, in realistic terms, it is between 280 and 300 miles, depending on how you drive, the weather conditions, the time of year, blah, 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 all the usual caveats. Same charging speed, so this one can charge at 250 kilowatts, which is, I've never managed to find anywhere that will charge it at that speed, but I've had over 220 kilowatts, and that is so fast. You are adding over 1,000 miles of range in an hour. So obviously you don't charge for an hour and it doesn't stay that far, but initially that's the kind of speed you're doing. You're adding 10, 15 miles a minute. You know, it really is very, very noticeable. So all in all, I mean, I'm really impressed with this. I think it is worth doing. I don't think it's groundbreaking, earth-shattering news. It's not the most stunning. It's not a new car. It's an existing car that's been refreshed, and it's been refreshed in quite a deep way underneath it, which is not immediately apparent to look at. The front end is obviously a bit different, but it took me a while to register what was different. The driving experience is as good as anything Tesla have ever done, if not slightly better. It definitely feels like a new car. I mean, the very simple answer is, I love my Model 3 that I drive now, but I want this one. So there's no question this is a huge improvement on the existing Model 3. It's going to be something that a load of Tesla owners are going to go, I want that one. And I'm one of them. You know, I've got a brand new Tesla 2023 model, Tesla Model 3, and I want this one. So I think that shows that it's definitely an improvement. It's not game changing. It's essentially the same car, but better. And I think what will be really exciting in the next few years, let's say 18 months, is a Model 2, a smaller, more compact hatchback. You can dream, can't you? I mean, that's certainly, I'm not that interested in the Cybertruck, even though it's an amazing, huge monster machine. I'm just waiting for Tesla to do something a little bit. But in the meantime, this is an amazing car. If you ever have the chance to drive one, you won't be disappointed. It really is extraordinary. So there we go. The new refreshed 2024 for people in the UK, Tesla Model 3. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Please do subscribe. Tell your friends about the Fully Charged Show if they don't watch it already. Most of them probably do. And as always, if you had been, thank you for watching.